Deleting social media will drastically improve your confidence, your relationships, and your mental frame so that you have the capacity to go and chase the life that you dream of living. Since the dawn of humanity, people lived in small towns and tribes so that the people that were in your social life were people that you saw on a day-to-day basis, people you interacted with, people that you worked with, people that you went to school with. And because of that, your competition was limited to your geographical location. So for example, if you started going to the gym and working hard on yourself for a couple of years, you'd probably become the biggest person that you know. But with social media, you're not just in competition with people in your vicinity, people that you know, people that you come in touch with on a day-to-day basis. With social media, the environment that you're competing in becomes the entire planet, becomes everybody who has a phone, posts themselves online. It becomes impossible for you to win. So as humans, we went from competing with our town, with our campus, with our colleagues, to competing with every single person on the face of the planet in over a few years. And we weren't evolved to do that. Humans aren't meant and aren't capable of understanding their social status within a frame that is that large. To illustrate what I mean, I'm going to tell you a quick story of a 23-year-old man. Let's call him Jack. Jack started going to the gym. He worked super hard on himself, and within a few years, he was the biggest person on his college campus. He was the biggest person that he basically knew. Now, Jack didn't have social media, so the amount of confidence that he felt from being exceptional at fitness, exceptional in bodybuilding, was immense. Now, over a few years of work, Jack also built a business for himself. It wasn't anything crazy. He wasn't a decamillionaire, but Jack was doing really well for himself. He'd worked hard, he'd applied himself, and improved his craft over time. Now, I want you to keep in mind that Jack doesn't have social media. So in his immediate social circle, Jack is a G. He is the guy that everyone wants to know. He's the guy that girls want to be with. He's the guy, he's got him status. He's that dude, right? And he feels like that dude because across every metric which men are compared on, he has more than the average person would. But one day, Jack decides to download Instagram. So he sits on the couch, opens his phone, and starts scrolling down his feed. Within a couple minutes, he sees a picture of Chris Bumstead, the bodybuilding world champion, who's juiced up and his only job in life is to get as big as humanly possible. Some would say it's not even humanly possible, but with the right steroids, you'd probably get there. So when he sees that, Jack starts feeling a little bit dejected. He thinks to himself, I've worked so hard on my body all those years, and here's this guy Chris who has a pinky finger that's larger than my entire bicep. So in an attempt to make himself feel better, Jack thinks to himself, but at least I've built a business. Chris hasn't done that. Feels a little bit better and then picks up his phone again and starts scrolling down Instagram. Within a few minutes, he sees a video of Iman Gachi, a 23-year-old decamillionaire, talking about how he's made millions and millions of dollars selling overpriced courses to ambitious high schoolers. Once again, Jack starts feeling dejected. He thinks, I've worked so hard to build this business and it took me years and hard work and effort, and I've built up the skill set to be able to make lots of money, but I'm nowhere near making $10 million a year. So in an attempt to make himself feel better again, Jack thinks, but at least I'm bigger than Iman Gachi. So he's gotten through 2 obstacles within a few minutes and then keeps scrolling Instagram. The next video he sees is of Logan Paul, and that put the nail in the coffin for Jack because Logan Paul is bigger than him. He has more money than 10 of these gurus combined, and Jack could no longer find any excuses to why he wasn't beating these guys. At this point, Jack is in the mud. He feels like it's all been for nothing. He starts wondering whether it was all worth it. All his ambition and drive to build himself into a healthy, fit, strong, rich, confident, social person had gone to waste in his mind. He thinks, I can never be the best. Why even bother trying? So months go by and Jack is now fat. His business started losing money because he stopped working as hard on it. And why would he? He thinks it's impossible to win, right? And that is the brutal reality of social media. It pits the world-class qualities of individuals against yours in a vacuum. If you're rich, you'll never be the richest. If you're big, you'll never be the biggest. If you have a poppin' social life, your social life will never be more poppin' than someone else's. It's an environment that is rigged so that nobody could ever win. So why even choose to compete? And the worst thing about it is that all of these people, all of these individuals who Jack came across while he was scrolling his phone, don't broadcast the negative downsides of their life, of what it took to get there, of all the things that Jack felt like he lost on. For example, Logan Paul right now is dealing with the entire world shaming his fiancée for being with 69.9% of Hollywood, to be exact, before dating him. His brother is going on podcasts and ripping into his character. And most people don't even respect him for scamming his fans out of millions of dollars. Chris Bumstead said he had to go to the hospital multiple times to deal with cramps that resulted from his body being so overweight, so large, that is unnatural for humans to be. But when Jack was scrolling down his feed, he didn't see any of that. He just saw the glamour, the shine, all the wins, all the successes. And being the ambitious man that he is, Jack couldn't help but compare himself to these people. And it destroyed him. 5 months ago, I deleted social media. I decided to take it out of my life, go off of it for 6 months and see how my life would change. And in those 5 months, I've made so much progress. My confidence has never been higher. My relationships have never been deeper. My mental state has never been stronger. And unless you're making money off of social media, there's absolutely no reason to be on it. Now, instead of competing against the entire planet, instead of competing against individual qualities of people who've dedicated their lives to these things that I'm working on, I can now compete against real life people who I come across on a day-to-day basis, people who I see in my real life in the real world. And I urge you to do the same, because if you're not making money off of social media, there is really no benefit to being on it. And the best thing is that the removed pressure from fighting in an arena, in an environment where you can never win, will give you the room and the space that you need to flourish and to work on yourself and to build yourself into a person who's capable of actually competing against world-class individuals. Social media hasn't been around for long enough for us to know the downsides, to know the effects of it on our mental health, on our state, on our confidence, on all these things that I've discussed in this video. We are the people that are figuring this out day by day. And I'm here to tell you that I've done this experiment, I've been through it, and I can confidently report back to you that you will live a much more fulfilling life, a life where you can go ahead and chase your dreams with aggression, with passion, and without the needless pressure of being in an environment where you can never win, that stumps your potential needlessly without really giving that much value and taking time out of your life. So with that, I'll let you go. Peace.